Welcome back everyone to Game of Thrones Winter's Coming. Today we are looking at the upcoming season of Alliance Conquest. We are going through some things that you can prepare to have ready before entering a match, and we're going to take a look at the rules and some of the changes that has been made. So first of all, you can see here, event description. Two alliances will be matched together and enter the battle map, where members of the alliance can earn points by defeating enemy players, occupying a location on the battlefield, or capturing a location for the first time. Each match lasts 60 minutes, and the alliance with the higher battle points at the end will be the winner and earn match rewards. This of course means that there's a high incentive to win, and considering it's 60 minutes, it's really fast paced usually once you get higher up in the rankings. I know that the alliance I am in is in Super League, and usually there it's very fast paced. You'll have to play it smartly. The event will be carried out as a tournament that is divided into Alliance Conquest, the regular season, and Ultimate Conquest, the playoff. Participating alliances will be will be split into 3 different leagues: Super League, A League, B League, just like I said before. The top 16 alliances of Alliance Conquest in each league will be qualified to participate in Ultimate Conquest. Players will be ranked based on their personal and alliance performance at the end of the season. Higher rankings will grant better rewards, and the champion will win the covered grand prize. That's all pretty clear. There's nothing really to misunderstand there. Generally, they say that the top 50 in the regular season gets to go rank higher. So if you are in top 50 in B League, you'll be promoted to A League. If you are at the bottom 50 in A League, you'll be demoted to demoted to B League, and same applies of course for Super League and so on. So it's relatively easy to understand, relatively straightforward. Alliance Conquest is divided into 3 leagues and several matches. Winning matches will increase the alliance season points, while losses will deduct from their points. All qualified alliances will be ranked based on their season points on the rankings board for their league. Each match has a registration phase and a match day, and there's a break period between 2 matches. After a match ends, the top 16 alliances of each league will enter their league's Ultimate Conquest stage, and the Ultimate Conquest roster will be confirmed at the start of the last match of Alliance Conquest, and the players on the roster may only represent that alliance in UC. Players that join another guild/alliance will be unable to participate in UC. Players that leave in the middle of the season but rejoin the same alliance during the UC preparation phase will be able to participate. And this luck happens on the last match. So if you qualify with your last match, then those that participate, or those that are in the alliance in the last match, are the only ones that are qualified for UC. So if people drop out before the last match and you qualify for UC, they can't enter for UC either. So keep that in mind for those that fight for spots there. I doubt that my alliance will have a chance there. But we will see. We probably just be happy about the season rewards, but you can see here Alliance Conquest rewards. There's general match rewards for participating, and then there's match rewards based on the amount of points you get. And this of course will be the big highlight. It's pretty much the same as in Siege of Winterfell. Honor banners, valor points, main material selection chest, and Mark of the True Dragon. Though in AC it's a bit difficult, it's a bit more difficult to get the higher points, I would say. You're heavily relying on being able to defend the points yourself, or the location that you're defending, to get the points, but in most cases you might be able to just stick for the 20k at least for entering, but yeah, it depends on the matchup of course. Then there's of course the win 3 matches or more reward, which is the Birth of Dragon Shard chest, valor points, and training speed ups. And then there are the individual point rewards where you can get some army summons, army increase summons, race boots, and I believe it's a defense badge, yeah. And then there's the alliance point ranking rewards, which is also pretty decent to keep in mind. But yeah, so Right now you know that there is a match day, registration day, and a certain amount of matches. I believe this season will have, since it says 3 for the season win, I will believe that we have 6 matches. Usually we had 8 matches, and I believe we needed 5 wins, but they might have lowered the strictness on that, so you can get away with half the wins, but we'll see. Other description. So that's initial league division. You can see here it will be top 250. We participate in Super League, 250 to 80 or to 800 A League, and the same will be for B League. So if you place within 200 to 250, once the season's over, you will be demoted to A League, and so on and so on. The battle shop will be there. You can of course claim items, buy them, so on. There's limited of alliance supplies during the match, which comes in the form of heals, depending on how many rebel leaders you have taken down and chests you have gotten from them. Those give the points for buying heals in those events. And of course there's a limited set amount you can buy for 300k points, I think, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And at the end of the match they'll be removed, so you can't really stock up on easy matches and then just buy a lot of heals and then keep them for the hard matches. You will have to use them in that match, or they will just be gone after. And there's a buy rule for if you go, if you don't have an opponent. It might happen in rare cases that there's no opponent. It depends on if people forget to register, or maybe there's just not enough people there, and so on. So you'll get a basically free win for those cases. And yeah, but what I wanted to look at was the other matches rule. In the Alliance Conquest, defeated troops do not die, but instead will be sent to battlefield hospitals. Wounded troops heal faster and at no cost in these hospitals. Troops wounded in Alliance Conquest will not affect the status of your troops outside this mode, which means that it's not bad for you to have your hospitals full at the end of the event at all. Once you get out, your troops will be all fully healed. There will be nothing in the hospitals, and you won't lose troops either. So keep that in mind. It's a really good thing. In Alliance Conquest, marching speed is accelerated. The Alliance can initiate multiple rallies, which is also needed, at least at the higher rankings. You will need to do several rallies, and always look at your opponent and see how you can counter them best. Each battlefield building can hold up to 30 troops, which is the same as usual, including the occupants' troops. During the reinforcement period, all players can only send dragons and troops, which means that the only one that has the commander side is the one that has the control of the area there, or the building, and everyone else has to basically just supply with troops and dragons. When defending a building from attacks, the maximum amount of troops allowed to participate per battle is 1 million plus the occupant's highest rally size when occupying a building. Soldiers that aren't participating in the battle will be on standby. Reinforcement troops are placed into the battle based on the highest power until the limit is reached. If the next line in regiment will increase the number of troops to beyond the limit, the regiment will not be able to participate in the battle. The commander bonuses, formations, lord talents, and technology of the player that captured and is occupying the building will take effect while defending the building. This is a change from what we've been used to in the last few seasons. In the last season we had the regular 3 million defense size, but since we had some issues at the higher ranked alliances where people could just solo the buildings out with solo attacks, they have changed it so now that it scales based on your rally size plus 1 million troops bonus on top of that. This of course means that if you have your, I believe, Bannerman Hull on level 25, you will automatically have 3 million troops inside, and now it shifts the meta more towards those that have actually rally size to be able to defend while also have decent stats. And that's going to be the interesting change to things. I personally kind of expected it, so I have been preparing some of my alliance members on it that are rally leaders to have some rally size within their refinement and stuff. But it also means that right now the emphasis on first capturing building is super high, because you will most likely face, in most cases, you will face an uphill battle in the case of where you have to fight more troops than you have in your own rally. So keep that in mind while you're looking or preparing for that as well. After capturing a building, the participation participating troops will enter the building directly, but instead return to their main cities. A lord can only occupy one building at a time, which is super important, which means that if there's one alliance or if there's one whale in the alliance, that specific person can only hold one building, which means that if you play around it, you have a chance to still win the match. The newly captured building will enter a short period of protection. I believe it's 30 seconds or 1 minute, something like that. I can't remember, or it might be a little bit longer. Not sure if they have changed that, during which members of the alliance can send reinforcements to the building. When an occupant voluntarily evacuates the building, other players of their faction will not get any protection time when reoccupying the building. However, if a player of the opposing faction captures the building, then the protection timer will be renewed. Buildings captured by NPC troops will become neutral, and both factions can directly capture the building. So that's all standard stuff, it's the general thing. An Alliance Conquest, players can attack the main cities on the other faction but cannot capture the lords and steal their resources, which is also a good thing to keep in mind when you're entering. You don't have to hide your lord, keep your lord out. It's very important that you do. Players can change dragon skill effects at any time during Alliance Conquest, which is, I think, the only thing that can be changed. So keep that in mind as well if you have certain needs for dragon skills, or if you go in and have forgotten it, then you can still change it before the actual match starts. The match result of the day will be announced when the server resets at 12 AM. And alliances in the Super League and A-League that did not participate in any matches for the entire season will start from B-League next season. So you basically have to pass out on an entire season, which is a huge loss. But some alliances might do it anyways just to get their easy wins in the B-League. But we have to look at that. Some people like that as well, so that's something to also keep in mind, and that's always a pretty decent thing. And so that's basically just the general thing. There was something else I wanted to look at, but for some reason it's kind of gone. Oh yeah, here. Players can enter the map on the match day. Players have to choose the troops they want to bring to battle when entering the map. Only the troops staying in the city can be brought to the map. Each player can bring up to 3 million troops. The troop limit for the players is also 3 million. And keep in mind that troops that you have in nodes and stuff that like that, they won't count. They have to be in your castle, so make sure they have to be in castle. And I would highly recommend that you only bring T3 and T4 if your alliance is at that level at that point. T2s and T1s are low moral, have a low morale, and if you throw them into a rally, then they will most likely make the rally lose faster, which is not in your benefit, or it's not benefiting you in any way in this case. So make sure you only bring T3 and T4s into the match. And I would also recommend that you don't bring that many bows unless they are specifically asked to bring bows in. All available commanders in the city and the player's dragons will enter the match with the player. Players' army bonuses during the match are fixed when entering the battle map, and any bonuses obtained after this will not take effect in the match, which is very important to remember. This means that your equipment, your main lord that you have chosen, your badges, everything, buffs, so on, that you have are fixed. So if you forget to put those on before entering the match, they won't apply. And that's super important to keep in mind. So one thing I would like to recommend people that before going into AC is to make sure you get the Hall of Faces buff, and if possible, if you're a rally leader or you're a strong leader, get a level 60 lord as well. All those give stats to your troops, as you can see here. If I don't click out, of course. Normal grade. What you can see here, highest level of lord in prison gives a level 6 lord gives 30% attack bonus, which is huge. And Hall of Faces, you can see here, gives these stats here, which is also super important, especially the marching speed is really good, as it gives you an advantage over others. And equipment, if you have that, make sure that you change over to the correct equipment before entering. Make sure you have the correct talents on. Make sure that you have the right castle exterior on, marching animation. Make sure you go in here and put on your total attack or total defense, whichever you prefer to have. Army size boost, you can have both of those active at the same time. And something people often forget is that fervor also gives buffs, which you can see here. So make sure, and those apply as well. Once you enter, even if you go out of fervor while you're inside, the buffs will still apply. So make sure that you also have those, and of course make sure that you bubble up after the match before your protective bubble drops. But those are some of the things that you can do. Make sure that you have, when you check your commanders, that you have the correct main commander on your roster. For my case, it will probably be something like a Seg or a Tyrion as my main commander. And as we went through, the dragon's skills you can change while inside, so that's not the biggest deal to remember. But of course check, that's also a good courtesy to just check it before you go in, to make sure you have everything inside, make sure you have your badges correctly set into the equipment. And this of course also means that something you have to do is to basically, in military grounds where you can configure armies, set up formations that suits your needs, so that you can just click them, so you don't have to set them, so you can contest the buildings faster, especially if you're one of those that are expected to hold a building. And also make sure that you have one equipment set with the badges inside that you want, that you can use for everything inside your AC experience or AC match, because like I said, you can't change those out at all, and even the badges will matter super much, or a lot at least. And you can see here, badges can make a big difference, and if you don't have them in, then you won't get the stat buffs from that either. I think those were like the main things that you have to remember, and of course the Hall of Faces buff is the one that's a bit more difficult to get. If you're curious about it, you want it and so on, talk to some of the people that play in your alliance. There's probably a lot of people that have experience about it, and some even have the accounts needed to actually get it faster, so you only will have to spend like 2 hours and 30 minutes or something like that, maybe less, to get the buff. And that buff can also stack for an entire week. If you execute enough lords, then it will stack for an entire week. And yeah, personally I recommend you to keep a total attack, total defense, or something that has totals inside as a lord, which means Arya can be recommended, or Tyrion can be recommended if you have him gold. Seg is really good if you have him awakened and gold as well. Commanders like that. You can see it like when you check there's look at the commanders and look at their skills once it loads up, if it wants to load up, of course. And Tyrion here. When you look at their specialization, you can see those that have totals. Set one of those as your main lord for Alliance Conquest. Even if you are specialized in one specific troop type, you will probably have all 3 troop types inside your building, and because of that, it's very smart to have someone that's total commander there, because all 3 troop types will participate, so all the troop types will take a buff from it if your main lord is at home. Also, one thing that's really important to note before entering: set up your wall defense so that whatever formations you use in the map won't be out when you're getting attacked, so you have a chance to actually defend. I personally would say just throw in the excess total commanders that you don't use inside, or whatever troops you have for your front line, and that way you can get somewhat decent buff to protect your troops. Since you only have 3 million inside, then it's a bit harder to actually keep those protected, and getting hit by someone hard to lose all your troops will be really difficult. And yeah, one last thing that's good to have is for those that have multiple deployments researched, that will also apply to Alliance Conquest as far as I remember. So the more deployments, the more it's likely that you can empty out your castle and use them to protect points on the map. Of course, this also means that your personal points that you have when entering this map will be easily taken. But that's pretty much going to be it for this small Alliance Conquest guide. If you want to play the game, the link is down below in the description. So is the link to the Discord group from Game of Thrones, and for the music. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel if you want to. And yeah, I'll probably come back soon with a update regarding dragon skills, so look forward to that. But this is going to be all for me this time around. So have fun, good luck with Alliance Conquest, and take care. Bye bye.